The program policy analyst for the division is Etta Stry. The technical services bureau director is Gary Kraus. Myself as a section chief, and we have two UDC consultants under the Uniform Dwelling Code area, which is one is Adam Pillard and the other Lenny Cantor. Today, DIS wants to go over, most recently, we have reviewed and updated the modular dwelling program. We did this to eliminate some compliance inconsistencies within the industry, establish uniformity, and increase efficiency for the submitters and the department. Today, we'll go through some information on our DSPS website and resources available to yourselves as submitters. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. So today we're going to go through the information on the DSPS website and the resources available to you as submitters and manufacturers. Compliance assurance manual. We'll go through what it is, what it's used for, and a little bit of description and some updates. The plan submission description and requirements and program updates on that. The reporting requirements and updates on that. And then lastly, we'll go through a demonstration on document and submission updates and some changes coming to the industry. First of all, I don't know if all of you are familiar with the DSPS website. It's pretty easy to get to. Just Google search dsps.wi.gov, and it comes to our homepage, which you can see on the screen here. And there's a tannish yellowish banner at the top that's got self-service, professions, programs, boards, councils, or rules and statutes, news and media, and so on and so forth. To get to our program specific areas, all the programs are listed within DIS are in the programs areas and the drop down the A to Z program list. As you can see, again, all of for specific program information, you can click on each one of these tabs. We're going to concentrate on 1 and 2 family dwelling, but if you had electrical questions or plumbing questions, you can click on that individual page. Once you click on the 1 and 2 family dwelling page, on the left is the top portion of it. And then below that, there's some information, including questions regarding uniform dwelling codes can be sent to our UDC tech box, which some of the submitters have sent plan submissions through or ask additional questions through. Below that are some drop downs, including wall bracing information, forms, FAQs, publications. There is a certain modular home drop downs in there that'll include, we'll go over that and include some specific information for the modular home program, res checks, and then building material products approvals information on that. In the modular homes drop down, for the specific program, it'll have an overview of the program, several of the forms that we currently use, including the application, the 2000 IS, the modular dwelling plan submission application and checklist packet, which is the SBD 8101, and then the monthly modular construction compliance certificate, which is the SBD 6229. Also within there, the modular home insignia program has a link to DocuSales, so it should be a one-stop shop. And then below, the modular dwelling submittal guides, which would include this presentation. First, let's go over some current forms. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but on our website, the 2000 IS is the modular dwelling application, which we will be going over a little bit more in detail. And then the SBD 8101 and the SBD 6229, which is a combined packet, application packet, along with compliance assurance checklist and the appropriate forms. First of all, the modular dwelling program, just a little bit of description and where it was based off of through state statute. The basic regulatory scheme for the Manufactured Building Act is as follows. A manufacturer submits to the state agency or to an independent third party approved by the state the plans, specifications, and other necessary documents for the building which he intends to produce. If these are approved as complying with the law, either the state agency or an independent third party approved by the state will inspect the actual building and building components as they are being produced. Units which comply or so designated by the state approved label attached at the factory. Lastly, the local enforcement agency inspects such units upon installation to determine whether they are correctly installed. This information can be found on page 66 of the National Bureau of Standards, 1976 edition. A little bit on the modular dwelling program itself. The current program is regulated by Wisconsin State Statute 101, applicable Wisconsin Administrative Codes 305, which is the credentialing, licensing and credentialing administrative code, SBS 316, our electrical code, SBS 320 through 325, the Uniform Dwelling Code, and SBS 381 through 387, which is the plumbing code. First of all, if a manufacturer desires to have their home placed in Wisconsin, they must first be approved by the department before the construction of the dwelling can begin in the plant. This is done through an application and the compliance assurance manual submission by the manufacturer. The compliance assurance manual, for reference, the CAM, detailing the program in place, assuring compliance to the code, must be submitted with the initial program application and whenever there are significant changes to the program. The CAM and the building system documentations are required to be kept current with the actual practices and materials used in the construction by both the manufacturer and the inspection agency. All revisions to the compliance assurance program must be approved by the inspection agency and by the department. Revisions to the building system or the variations from the approved building system must be approved by the inspection agency. The plan submittal application for a set of conditionally approved set of plans. First of all, they must be an approved manufacturer to submit plans. Secondly, the independent third-party inspection agency conditionally approves these plans, stating that they meet all Wisconsin Uniform Dwelling Code and regulations. And then lastly, there's a monthly construction reporting. This is submitted by the manufacturer after final approval, after the insignia is installed and shipped to Wisconsin. We'll go through a little bit more detail in the modular dwelling program applicable codes. First of all, Wisconsin State Statute, Subchapter 3, 101.70 establishes statewide standard inspection procedures for manufacturing and installation of modular homes. Again, SBS 320 through 325 is the Wisconsin Uniform Dwelling Code. Construction standards for 1 and 2 family dwelling applies uniformly throughout the state. SBS 381 through 387 is Wisconsin Uniform Plumbing Code, standard for all plumbing in the state of Wisconsin. SBS 305, Wisconsin's Credentialing Code, requires for obtaining Wisconsin Certified Inspector credentials. SBS 316, Wisconsin Electrical Code Volume 2, includes the Wisconsin adopted modifications to the National Electrical Code, and that is the 2017 NFPA 70. And again, we reference the National Institute of Standards and Technology model document for evaluation, approval, inspections, and manufactured buildings, which is referenced in state statute and SBS 320 as guidelines for developing and implementing a compliance assurance program. Where to find this information, again, on our state website. If you click on the yellow banner again in rules and statutes, it brings a drop down. You get to construction and trades codes. Click on that. As you can see, the Wisconsin State Statutes is the first line. General Part 1, you can find SBS 305 in there, SBS 316, Uniform Dwelling Code, which we'll focus on. And below the commercial building, I believe plumbing code is a standalone drop down as well. Once you click on the Uniform Dwelling Code, you can see all the sections, SBS 320 through 325, the appendices that correlate with that, and the UDC commentary for each one of those sections. We're going to deep dive a little bit more into the modular dwelling application and compliance assurance manual. The compliance assurance manual describes the methods and procedures that the manufacturer and their inspection agency will use to ensure that the dwelling they build will be constructed and inspected in accordance with Wisconsin state statutes and administrative codes. The department provides a checklist of required information used to evaluate and or write the CAM. This checklist can be found on the DSPS website. It is recommended that the manufacturer follow a checklist format when preparing the manual to keep the review time for the department staff at a minimum. The reference number in the checklist are derived from the National Institute of Standards and Technology that we just went through. The compliance assurance must also specify or identify any employees associated third-party entities performing inspections on behalf of the manufacturer, including all relevant licenses and license numbers. Any employees associated with third-party entities that are performing plan reviews on behalf of the manufacturer, including all relevant licenses and license numbers. Any employees associated with third-party entities that are submitting approved plans to the department, including their credential numbers as well. If that's not on the compliance assurance manual, you'll be sent an additional information letter back, which will go through the process flow in a little bit here. The compliance assurance, when is the compliance assurance manual submitted? First of all, as a new modular manufacturer, requesting to construct and ship dwelling units placed in the state of Wisconsin. The application along with the completed CAM is required. Secondly, as an approved modular manufacturer, when revisions to an approved compliance assurance manual shall be submitted as a revision, which could result in the revised pages or the revision of a complete manual. Some of these examples are significant changes to the manufacturer's program, change of ownership, change to third-party inspection agencies, change of manufacturing processes or procedures. Compliance assurance manual, the program update. All approved manufacturers must submit their current compliance assurance manual to DAS by April 1st of 2025 via email submission through the UDC tech box. As of April 1st, 2025, the compliance assurance manual must be submitted by new modular manufacturers requesting to construct and ship dwelling units placed in the state of Wisconsin. Submitted by an approved modular manufacturer with revisions to previous approved compliance assurance manual. Submitted by approved modular manufacturers on annual basis through a Form 2000 IS, and also verify the approved modular manufacturers certify that the plan is still current and in force through the SPD 6229 form. We'll go through a little bit of that update in the forms at the presentation at the end of this presentation. This is a process flow of submitting a manufacturer's application process. It starts with the manufacturer requesting to be part of the program. They submit their application and compliance assurance manual to the state of Wisconsin through the UDC Tech Box. The consultants have 90 days to review it by statute. If there's any questions or additional information, you get sent back to the manufacturer. They have 15 business days to reply to that additional information. The next step is the approval or denial of the application. And then DSPS, once there's approved manufacturer through a conditional approval letter, DSPS will notify dock sales of the approved manufacturer and they're authorized to purchase insignias through dock sales. Again, if there's any changes to the compliance assurance manufacturer, they would resubmit and start the process over. Plan submittals. Once you're approved as a approved manufacturer of modular dwellings for the state of Wisconsin in writing by the department, then you can submit building systems, which building systems are plan submittals, which include plans, calculations, and other construction related documents referred to in SBS 320 through 325. One copy of the submittal is required to be submitted to DSPS by the third-party inspection agency after they have reviewed and conditionally approved the building system. Once the inspection agency approves the document, the manufacturer can proceed with construction. When building system submittals are received, a cursory review will be performed by DSPS to ensure their accuracy and completeness. Quality and completeness of the submittals may vary and could lead to additional information letters being sent or a review audit being performed. So what's included in the plan submittal? There should be a cover page, which is essentially the permission to start, that identifies the following: any third-party agent or entities handling Wisconsin compliance for the manufacturer, the legal name or other names of the manufacturer, model or dwelling name, any specific information, building product approval numbers, and any unique or important details for the plan. Second should be the plumbing of product approval letter in its entirety, followed by a full set of plans, including natural light and ventilation tables, egress requirements, wall bracing details, a complete truss plan and details, including the snow load requirements required by compliant with the county in which the dwelling is to be placed per SBS 320.27. The next would be the res check printout. The res check should be included in the internal thermal envelope, and the res check is incomplete without it per SBS 322.31. The process flow for that, for the plan submittal, obviously the manufacturer starts the process by obtaining, obtaining plumbing product approval from Department of Safety and Professional Services. They put together the completed package and they submit that package plan submittal to the third-party inspection agency. The third-party inspection agency reviews it, stamps the plans conditionally approved. Simultaneously, that's the approval for the manufacturer to start construction. They also send a copy of the stamped approved plans to the department, the SBS. Through the process, we'll review it, do a cursory review. Any questions, we'll send an additional information, which has 15 business days to respond to. At the same time, the manufacturer is starting construction. The in-plant inspections are being performed. After the final inspection, ready for shipping, the inspection agency purchases and installs the Wisconsin insignia. The SBS will also provide compliance acknowledgement to the inspection agency. After the manufacturer ships the modular dwelling to Wisconsin, the manufacturer will submit a monthly report verifying their annual CAM on there, which we'll go over in a little bit. In addition, like I mentioned before, DIS will audit all manufacturers and submissions for compliance. This includes any of the following: potential re-review of the plan, verification of credentials, review of third-party approvals. This applies for any mass-produced modular dwellings that can be installed anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. The construction compliance reports. Manufacturer required to submit a construction compliance certificate by the 10th of the month following the month they are reporting. The primary purpose of the certificate is to provide the department with a record of Wisconsin insignia usage and the confirmation that the manufacturer certifies that the units to which they have been applied have been constructed and inspected in accordance with the UDC. They also provide us with other additional useful information, including monthly production numbers and means of correlating manufacturer serial numbers with insignias. This is submitted to the department on the form SBD 6229. We can use this information when performing audits or during complaint investigations. They also provide us a way of knowing whether a manufacturer is still in business. Caveat to that, most of you on the call supply the compliance assurance certificate or have gotten an email from me that you have not submitted your compliance assurance certificate. If you haven't complied or submitted a compliance assurance certificate for 3 consecutive months, you get an email warning, and if no response, we'll assume you're out of the program. If no one's familiar with this as the current construction compliance report, just so we know what we're talking about. Program updates. This is a big one. The department is moving towards what's called a program of Access Gov. Access Gov is a way of submitting forms electronically, and once you hit submit, they automatically get uploaded to a destination or location. All these changes to the modular dwelling programs and submission processes will be effective April 1st, 2025. The manufacturer program application, plan sets, and monthly report will be submitted electronically. Customers will complete the forms and upload required documents in Access Gov. These forms and upload documents are automatically provided to the UDC consultant. It goes directly to the UDC tech box. One of the benefits, the customers receive a confirmation email upon submission, which includes a downloadable PDF of their completed forms and submitted documents. So as of April 1st, 2025, submitting what you'll use Access Gov in the forms is to submit a new manufacturer's application, submitting annual compliance assurance manuals or revisions, verification of compliance assurance manuals through the SBD 6229, submitting building submissions or plan submissions through your SBD 8101, and submitting monthly compliance assurance, construction compliance reports or the SBD 6229. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Etta Stry, our program analyst, and she's going to give a demonstration of the Access Gov and what the forms look like. Etta?
Thank you. Just share screen here. So we will have the forms that Kirk mentioned in Access Gov, but I am just going to give a demonstration of one of the forms, just so you have a reference on how it works and how it looks. This is obviously a test site. It's got this disclaimer on the front here, so it might look a little different when you get to it. But at the plan submittal stage, you should have an approved manufacturer at that time. First paragraph talks a little bit about the program, just an introduction, so you know which form you're on. And then the next talks a little bit about the specific form you're looking at. Since your manufacturer should already be approved, you would check yes here. If you check no, you cannot go forward with the form because you need to have that approved manufacturer status before you can submit plans. So this is just a check to make sure that yes, the manufacturer has been approved, and then it allows you to continue with the form. So I will just fill this out as though I am manufacturer. And the inspection agency's information. And of course, this would be different individuals or real life situations. Here you would give the modular dwelling information.
As Ed is doing this, as you can see, this form replaces the Wisconsin Modular Plan Approval form that you guys submit with your plan approvals as a third-party inspection agency.
Entirely sure about the suffix here, so that would be whatever is on your plumbing product approval letter. Would go through these code requirements just as you would have on the paper or PDF form. You can add comments as appropriate or leave them blank as appropriate. A new field that we'll be asking about that I don't recall if it was on the PDF paper forms, is that to identify the zones that you're using for truss design and for res check. The options you have here are based on the county of installation. So you may only have, in this case, I chose Florence County, so there's only one option for zone. If you chose a county that has multiple options, they would appear here. So at this time, you can save and exit, or you can click next to continue. And then you're required to upload the plan sets and the additional information. I'm just going to choose some generic documents for this test. If you have some questions, there's some help information. If you hover over the eye, it might give you a little bit more information as to what you need. And note that everything that's required is identified with the red asterisk. And then here it will tell you on this specific form, it's asking if you have all of these things in your uploaded documents. So you're just confirming, yes, the stuff is here. If it's not in your plan set, you check no, then you're just required to upload it separately. So it's however you have packaged your files. For ease of this example, I'm just going to say yes here. And then attestation at the bottom. So here you are going to digitally sign, which is just typing your name and the date, today's date that you're submitting. And you're just confirming that you understand what you are submitting and that everything is accurate and true to the best of your knowledge. I also just want to go back to this page and change this email address. And I'm just going to review everything to make sure it's all filled out. And then you can click sign and submit. It'll ask you to confirm. And you'll have the option here to download. You can download a submission, which is going to be a PDF version of the form that you just filled out. You could download a zip file of all of the files that you have uploaded. Or you can just say close. And that ends the form. I did want to share what the form will sort of look like. Not the form, what the email will look like, because we did mention that you will get an email confirming that you submitted successfully. So if I share that window, it will look like this. So again, this is a test, but it will give you a form. I'm sorry, I'll give you a PDF version of the form, and you could open that. It's like I said, it's just going to be everything that you've submitted, and then also the zip file of the documents that you had uploaded.
Both the submitter and or the third party agency and the manufacturer will get a copy, right?
Yes, the email addresses provided in that form for the inspection agency and the manufacturer will get this email for the plan submittal, and for the manufacturer application, the monthly construction compliance certificate, that will only go to the manufacturer, and since they are the ones submitting that form. Just go back to our presentation here. I'm not finding it. One second, and I'll open that back. And while that's loading, Kirk, I will give it back over to you. You take control.
All right. Thank you, Etta. Let me just find where we're at here. Okay. We're back on here. So on the presentation, I just have some screenshots of what Etta just went through, both on the compliance assurance manual submissions, some questions on there, the plan submission, which she did go through. Essentially, these forms are electronic forms, and this is the monthly construction compliance report. Down below here, you have a picture of that at yes, right here. There's an attestation on the monthly construction compliance report that you can see. I confirm the compliance assurance manual on file at the Wisconsin Department of Safety and Professional Services is current and accurate, and then you're attesting that it is. So that's a new add to the compliance assurance manual. So at this time, it brings me to the end of the presentation. If you have any specific questions or code-related questions or general questions about the Uniform Dwelling Code or the Modular Dwelling Program, you can email the UDC tech box at the tech box or at the email here, or we do have the Q&A questions tab up at the top available. We'll be on for a little bit. That's all I have for the presentation. Ed, do you have anything additional?
I do not. Thank you.
Brandon, do you have anything additional?
No, nothing here.
Thank you all for joining the webinar. Any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you have any specific questions, the Q&A is up at the top, or raise your hand. We have one Q&A. Can we provide a link to download this presentation? It'll be uploaded on our website, on the DSPS website. It showed the look. Can I go back to the screen that shows the location where the modular program is found again? Yes. And this would probably answer the first one where the presentation is going to be. So we can go on to our dsps.wi, go to the A to Z program list, go to the 1 and 2 family dwelling drop down on all the program lists. Again, here on the grayed out areas, well, under publications would be the modular home tab. And under the modular home tab, it'll be on the modular dwellings middle guide. It'll be on the information here. And as correct me if I'm wrong, Etta, but after April 1st, these will all be links to these documents as well.
Yes, and after the meeting, so if you are following along on the website now, you won't see that modular homes drop down, but after the meeting, that will be made available.
Hopefully that answers the questions. I don't see any hands up. Do you, Etta?
I do not. We have another question. Will the department be sending manufacturers login information prior to 4/1/25?
You do not need to log into AccessGov, correct? Is that the question? I don't see the question.
That's correct. AccessGov does not require a login. However, that does mean that it's likely the system will not save any pending documents. So it would be probably in the best interest once you start an application to complete and submit it.
And we do have a hand raised. Frank, you have a question? You can unmute.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do manufacturers that are already approved as manufacturers have to go in and basically get reapproved before April 1st?
If you are an approved manufacturer, correct. That's a good question. If you're an approved manufacturer, you will have to submit your compliance assurance manual, your current compliance assurance manual, if nothing has changed. If something's changed, obviously you would submit any updates to that compliance assurance manual.
Okay, thank you.
I think before April 1st, though, we would like all approved manufacturers to submit their compliance assurance manual in full, just to ensure we have a copy of the
Correct.
latest one going into April 1st.
Correct, yes. And that would be via email, the UDC tech box. Any additional questions? All right. Seeing none and hearing none, that'll end our presentations and we'll stop the recording. Again, don't hesitate for any questions with any of the updates that are moving forward, or if you have any additional questions on the program, add to the UDC tech box that we've provided, and I'll leave that up at the end here. If anybody has any information, or visit our website. Thank you all for attending. Hope you found this informational. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask.